Hello and welcome to Business Reporter's Best of British Business campaign. I'm Alistair Greener. When we buy a new mobile phone, a smart map application comes with it by default. When we rent a car, a navigation system is probably built into the dashboard. Maps are everywhere, and finding our way around the world is now a lot easier than it once was. By showing us where we are and where we're going, it's just scratching the surface of what modern mapping technology and geospatial data can do for us. To tell us more, Steve Showell, Chief Financial Officer of Ordnance Survey, joins us in the studio. Good afternoon, Steve.
Good afternoon, Alistair.
Now, maps are everywhere in our mobile phones, in our laptops, in our cars' navigation systems. What more could we wish for?
Well, if I just correct you if I may, it's not really around the map itself. It's actually the location data that underpins the map. We call the location data geospatial data, and it's actually an intelligent, detailed data set that is so critical and underpins so many of the decisions that we make on an everyday basis. We did some research that said, on average in the UK, each adult will use location data in some shape or form upwards of 40 times a day. The fundamental utilities that we use every day, your water, your gas, your electricity, and even things like broadband, all those companies rely fundamentally on location data to get their services to your home. And most fundamentally, the blue light services, our emergency services, the ambulance, the fire brigade, the police, all place critical reliance every day on using accurate location data. We run and we maintain the National Geographic Database. It's a database of over 500 million geographic features, down to centimetre level accuracy, and we're making upwards of 20,000 updates to that database every day. Now, our vision at Ordnance Survey is to be the world's leading provider of geospatial data, fundamentally working with individuals, with businesses and with governments to help them use our data to make a positive impact in the world.
Can you give us a few examples where geospatial data proved particularly useful for solving tough problems?
Yeah, I can. I'd like to just give you three very different examples, if I may. Underneath our feet, under the ground, there's over 1.5 million kilometres of pipes and data that are fundamental in delivering the utilities to our houses that we benefit from every day. And if you think of the number of different companies that have been involved in laying all those pipes and cables, strikes or accidentally damaging another pipe that you weren't aware of is quite a common phenomenon. If I tell you the cost of those strikes is costing the UK economy over £1.2 billion a year. So what we're doing here at Ordnance Survey is working with our partners and working with the Geospatial Commission to create actually an underground map of all of the pipes and cables that exist in the country. And this is really critical to hopefully reduce some of that cost and danger to life that I've explained. I'm really pleased, as is everybody, that we seem to be on the recovery and coming out of the pandemic and moving towards the new normal. And I'm pleased to work for a company that played such a vital role in helping to shape the nation's response to the pandemic. So if I think around the millions of home test kits that were delivered to the population, if I think of the role that we played in Ordnance Survey in helping to monitor infection levels and understanding where the next hotspots and outbreaks would come, if I think around how we were helping to advise the NHS on where the most vulnerable patients lived, and we were also working with governments to help optimise the location of vaccination centres to make sure they're both reaching as many of the population as possible, but also accessible by roads and public transport. And the third example I'd like to touch on, and again, slightly different, but is the work we're actually doing with international governments overseas. So one project that I'd like to talk about is the work that we've done with the Zambian government to help them produce a digital base map of their capital city, Lusaka. And this is down to property level, and we were using advanced techniques such as machine learning and artificial intelligence to help create this base map of Lusaka, to help them on their own geospatial journey and help them realise some of the benefits that we see in the UK from having our own national mapping agency.
What about the challenge of sustainability? Does Ordnance Survey have any role in that?
We play a really critical role in monitoring and measuring activities be it things like measuring coastal erosion, levels of urbanisation, levels of forestry and green space. All of these things are really critical to understand the changing face of the landscape. We also will work with governments and with business, for example, to decide the best location for renewable energy assets. I'm talking about solar farms, wind farms, where the best terrain to lay these features are. Where's the optimum place to put the vehicle charging stations in order to maximise the electric vehicle take-up? There are plenty of sensors and monitors out there capturing lots of information every second. Now I'm thinking things like emission levels, noise levels, pollution levels, traffic data flows. If you have all that information and you can bring that and merge that with location data, because fundamentally everything happens somewhere. So if you can merge that data with location data, then you start to have a real powerful data set that can be used to shape decisions of the future.
How does your system work?
So it's actually remarkably simple. We have 230 surveyors and we have 2 aircraft. And this team is really monitoring and mapping the changing face of the United Kingdom every day. Now, we are responsible for maintaining and updating the National Geographic Database. As I said, a database of over 500 million geographic features down to centimetre level. And our team is making over 20,000 updates to that database every single day. And this is because we fundamentally believe location data is core to so many decisions moving forward. We can provide the most trusted, the most accurate, the most reliable location data to our customers to help underpin their products and services and help solve their challenges.
How do you think the technology of geolocation and the use of data is going to develop in, say, the next 5 years or so? And what's your role in that development?
If I think of some of the breakthroughs that we're on the cusp of, things like smart connected cities, intelligent transport networks, driverless autonomous vehicles, augmented reality, location data plays a core and critical underpin. So I think the future is really, really exciting. So we work with hundreds and thousands of developers out there, providing them access to our data to allow them to really innovate and try and drive change in the market. And we also have our own accelerator or our own incubator hub. We call it Geovation. And Geovation works with startups. We sponsor startups. We provide the mentoring, coaching, facilities, office space, and really help them try and build their own businesses. We have helped over 130 startups to date. Those startups have raised over £100 million of equity funding, and we've created jobs for over 1,700 people in the UK. So Ordnance Survey is really playing a critical role in helping drive entrepreneurship and innovation within the United Kingdom.
That was Steve Showell, Chief Financial Officer of Ordnance Survey.